The footage shows a worker on an automated production line entering the system by crossing the safety barrier to fix a jammed material. However, since the line wasn't stopped, the industrial robot arm suddenly moves and comes dangerously close to the worker. Within seconds, what began as a routine task turns into a situation that could have ended in death. This incident demonstrates how dangerous it can be to intervene without isolating machine energy. In automated systems, no cleaning, maintenance, or repair should ever be performed without applying the lockout-tagout (LOTO) procedure. Disconnect the power, lock the system, and make sure only you can restart it. Because machines don't make mistakes, people do when they skip safety steps. The footage shows a forklift operator trying to lower a heavy load from a rack. However, the weight exceeds the forklift's lifting capacity. As the load begins to slip from the forks, the front of the vehicle tilts forward rapidly, and balance is completely lost. Despite the operator's effort, the forklift's center of gravity shifts, bringing the machine to the point of tipping over. This incident highlights how forklifts are designed based on balance principles. The rear counterweight balances the front load. If that limit is exceeded, the vehicle overturns. The maximum load capacity must never be exceeded. The load should be carried low and balanced, and sudden braking or sharp turns must be avoided. Most forklift accidents happen not because of speed, but because of instability. At a loading area, two workers were organizing materials at the back of a truck. One was tossing packages to the ground one by one, while the other was stacking boxes. However, they didn't notice a passerby walking nearby, and one of the thrown packages hit him directly. The impact wasn't severe, but the situation could easily have resulted in a serious injury. This incident shows how crucial awareness and communication are in shared workspaces. During loading or unloading, everyone must be aware of their surroundings, and no lack of coordination should be allowed. Every movement in shared areas should be deliberate, and loads should never be thrown unless the area is clear of people. The footage shows a worker trying to lift a ramp attached to an excavator bucket. As the operator raises the bucket, the worker attempts to guide the ramp with his hands. Suddenly, the bucket rises sharply, and the heavy metal ramp falls directly onto the worker. Within moments, an ordinary task turns into a fatal accident. This incident illustrates one of the most dangerous mistakes made on construction sites: standing under a suspended load. Chains or slings can snap at any moment, so no one should ever be beneath them. Communication with the operator must be maintained, and loads should only be moved in a controlled and secure area using proper lifting equipment. The rule is simple: never stand under a suspended load. The footage shows a worker on a production line leaning forward to adjust the alignment of a moving fabric. But because the machine wasn't stopped, the intervention turns into a disaster within seconds. The rotating rollers catch the worker's arm and pull his body inward with tremendous force. A simple adjustment becomes a deadly accident in an instant. This incident demonstrates the severity of the danger, known as the nip point. When working with winding machines involving fabric, film, or paper, no manual contact should ever be made. Rotating systems must be guarded, and lockout-tagout must always be applied before any maintenance. Any contact made without isolating energy can be fatal. The footage shows a worker at a sludge treatment pool checking the mixing shaft with his foot after stopping the motor. However, before fully removing his foot, he restarts the system. The machine suddenly begins to rotate, entangling his foot in the mechanism and pulling his body inward within seconds. This tragic moment demonstrates how deadly it can be to work on equipment that hasn't been fully de-energized. This accident is a classic example of what happens when the lockout-tagout (LOTO) procedure is not applied. Turning off the motor is not enough. The power source must be locked and tagged. The operator's contact with rotating parts and the lack of protective footwear also increase the risk. Remember, don't just stop the machine. Isolate the energy, lock it out, and make sure it's safe before you act. The footage shows a truck reversing in a narrow street and hitting an electric pole. The driver fails to see the pole in the mirrors, and the truck's rear corner strikes it, breaking the concrete pole in two. Within seconds, the pole collapses onto a parked car beside it. The incident causes significant property damage in mere moments, though luckily, no one is injured. This incident highlights the dangers of blind spots and the absence of a spotter during reversing operations. Heavy vehicles have wide blind zones. Therefore, a spotter must always assist during reversing, and cameras and sensors should be active. The area must be checked before maneuvering, and at least 1 meter of clearance should be kept from fixed obstacles. The footage shows 2 workers standing in front of a massive container handler, reach stacker, at a port terminal. Unaware of their presence, the operator begins reversing the machine. One worker notices the danger at the last second and runs to safety, but the other reacts just a moment too late and narrowly avoids being crushed. These moments vividly reveal how deadly the blind spots of heavy machinery can be. This incident shows how dangerous limited visibility can be for heavy equipment operators. Pedestrian access should be restricted in loading zones. Operators should always work with spotters, and vehicles must be equipped with cameras and audible alarms. Workers must maintain a safe distance. Even a split-second delay can be fatal. The footage shows a 33-year-old woman preparing for a bungee jump at an adventure park. Everything appears normal until the moment she jumps, when suddenly the rope snaps. The woman plunges uncontrollably, coming face to face with death in seconds. This incident serves as a stark reminder that the safety of extreme sports depends not just on rules, but on every single piece of equipment. This incident underscores how critical equipment inspection is in high-risk activities like bungee jumping. Ropes and connection points must be checked before every jump, and facilities must comply with certified safety standards. Real adrenaline means choosing safety first. The footage shows an operator lifting a garbage container into a truck using the hydraulic arm. Suddenly, one of the hydraulic lines ruptures, and within seconds, the front of the truck bursts into flames. As the fire spreads rapidly, the operator panics and flees. Such accidents occur when high-pressure hydraulic fluid comes into contact with hot surfaces, igniting instantly. Safety in hydraulic systems depends on regular maintenance and leak prevention. Hoses, fittings, and valves must be inspected frequently, and any worn components should be replaced immediately. Even a small oil leak can cause a major fire in seconds. Regular maintenance saves lives.